Oh, 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 look who's here. Hello. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hi, how you doing? Leather Rock here. And Cassie, welcome to my channel. Let me put her down so she doesn't kill me. Oh, so today, let's talk about taking skincare breaks and some reasons why a person might choose to do so, or circumstance might force your hand. Well, if you don't already know, it is the heat of the summer, and I, ladies and germs, am not gifted with the wonderful modern invention called air conditioning. And today it is the 20th of July, 2020, that I'm filming this, and today it was 92 degrees outside. I honestly don't know if that was even the high. It may have been higher than that today, because that was, the last time I checked, it was like 10 something in the morning. And of course I would expect high noon, 1 p.m. to be even hotter. So if you figure if it was at least 92 degrees and an unair conditioned apartment could get well hotter than that. Now, I usually wash my face 4, 5, 6 in the morning after taking my makeup off. I'm much more active energy-wise at nighttime. So I do my skincare after I wash everything off, and then I go to bed. And then usually when I finally come to in the morning, which oftentimes can be between 9 o'clock and noon, if not later, depending, of course, on how late I was. And so the only skincare that I would do would be just putting sunblock on. But I came to a realization yesterday after doing my 5th shower, and when I sweat, it mixes with all the other crap that's on my face, and I can taste the salt. And I'm thinking, what good are all these skincare devices and products that I'm putting on my face, aside from the sunblock, which is a non-negotiable? What good is putting all this stuff on your face if your body is just sweating it off? And so I've decided that I'm going to take a break. And I hope that my skin doesn't suffer for doing this, but I just can't keep on living with this feeling like I have this film of, I don't want to say filth, because I know that human sweat in and of itself is not a dirty thing, but if the surface that it appears on is not totally clean and sterile, then sweat gets kind of rank. It can. And so I'm putting all these different layers of skincare on faithfully before I go to bed, only to be sweating and sweating and sweating. And I have 2 fans going on me right now. When my brother went on his little vacation, he left his more high-powered fan here with us, and so I put that at the foot of my bed, and I have another fan that's closer to my face, and they're both aimed on me all of my non-filming time. And if I am filming, like when I brought my mother in to do some things on her for video, I put one of the fans on her back so she could have some relief. But I am sweating all the time, and I'm backing up against my back wall here where I think my lighting is best. Now, I don't have any foundation on. Most days I don't bother wearing foundation. Due to this heat and this lack of air conditioning situation, I think that mascara is absolutely pointless. I don't bother wearing it even when I go outside, and I know I look better with darkness on my lashes, especially if I'm out wearing a mask and stuff. I know that mascara looks better, but guess what? I don't have any waterproof mascara right now. Frankly, that can't be my priority. Of all the things going on in the world and all the things going on in my life, to have a waterproof mascara is just not on my top 10 list. I'm sorry, it's not. And meanwhile, I can't see putting all this fancy skincare, including the retinoids, including the vitamin C, even the argireline, which is supposed to be this peptide that's supposed to be like Botox in a bottle and all this hippie horse shit. Now, this is not the first time I've taken a skincare break. I previously took a skincare break to save money when I had run out of my best stuff, which tends to be the products that I got from The Ordinary. And when I misjudged on what I thought a year's supply would be, and I'd run into some financial challenges, which included dropping and breaking a computer in Washington, and then actually having another one that literally overheated a couple days after the 4th of July, again in Washington, D.C. So when you're faced with all of a sudden you need to replace electronics, so you just can't be making superfluous makeup purchases and things. And when you're dealing with extreme heat or extreme poverty, it causes you to be in use up your own stuff mode, not buy things unnecessarily. Cassie, what are you doing? Oh, you want to see what this little cat's doing? Do you want to see what this little cat's doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, if you knock on things and you get on things and you break that Chromebook before I'm able to get all my stuff off it, I will be very upset, Cassie. You know you always interrupt my videos. You do. I love her anyway. So, what was I saying here? When we take skincare breaks, you really always worry about whether you're setting back your progress in whatever the reasons were for using your skincare in the first place. I know there's some momentum that you can lose if you're using a retinoid regularly. And if you take breaks for other than reasons of irritation or what have you, that's certainly a legitimate reason to maybe scale back on or do less of certain skincare things. But if it's literally, if you're sweating so much that you can't keep things on your skin, that it just seems to me ridiculous to go through all this. Now, another observation that I made a couple of months ago, I'm sure most of us are pretty in tune with our bodies and our skin, and if our skin changes at all through the years, you make note of these things. And I've always been somebody who had oily skin, and I accepted that. It was something that was part of even my identity. And in recent years, meaning 3 or 4 years, I would like to think my skin has not dried out any, but is normalized to a certain degree. But then I always think that, and then the summertime comes, and now one of the things that I had gotten into as my skincare has evolved with education and with knowing myself and trying to stay ahead of certain things that I don't want to have come any time faster than they need to, like the wrinkles and the skin discoloration and stuff. But I had started experimenting with facial oils, just putting 1 or 2 drops as my very last step before going to bed, or sometimes as my step when I wake up after wiping the sand out of my eyes. Then I might put 1 or 2 drops of an oil on and then let that sink in and then put my sunscreen on. But lately I've been saying to myself, what the heck am I putting oil on my face when it already feels like an absolute grease pit? I mean, I feel sometimes like, why don't I just put a derrick on the top of my head and crank it up and start selling it to foreign countries, because that's how much of a grease pit my skin feels. So if that's the case, why am I adding more oil to it? And with all this sweat and the heat, and I cannot tell you how extremely hot it is in my house. Now, just before filming, I put my hair down because I think my hair looks better down. I like showing off how nice and long it is and stuff, but literally it is sticking to my back. It is sticking to me. I probably am loaded with cat hair. As soon as I film this, I'm going to jump back in the shower. But I stopped adding the oils to my skin. I stopped even with the really good, what I consider the high performance skincare, and I hope that I don't pay the price in losing any momentum I may be losing. I mean, the way I see it, we've got this quarantine due to COVID-19 anyway. So very few things are open, and as we started to open up and we saw that the cases were skyrocketing, we've been scaling back, and there's still a travel ban. Normally this time in the summertime, I'd be out tripping the light fantastic. I'd be going to clubs. I'd certainly be doing a lot of filming, even though I'd like to carry my umbrella, and I've always stayed out of the sun. But with COVID-19, there's even less reasons to go out. Plus, there have been more hectic things going on with my neighborhood that I have not seen fit to give you guys an update about, because I don't want to draw attention to some of the problems we're having. Some of the threats have been made. Things have gotten a little bit worse, but I don't want to get into that now. So I have even less reasons to even go out of the house. So I'm thinking, if I continue to not have my face too close to windows, then the sun won't get at me too much. And if I continue to put sunblock on my face, I can't even put it on my arms and legs, even when I walk back and forth to different rooms of the house that don't have any window coverings. I just have to do everything I can to not be exposed to the sun. But I can't take wearing all of this skincare, and some of it doesn't feel too bad, but some of it just feels like it's holding in all the sweat and heat onto my body and my face, and I can't stand it. And if I know that I have skincare on underneath the sunblock, then as my face gets sweaty and the sweat tickles me, and it's irresistible to not do something about it. You have to get comfort, and you have to scratch and itch. And then I'm thinking, what I really want to do is take a wet washcloth and just wipe my face. And this is a wet washcloth. I'm not wearing any makeup aside from my eye makeup and lipstick. I did have blush on and a little bit of highlight earlier today because I had to get up earlier than I normally do for a Skype interview that's part of the market research stuff that I do, is part of my extra day jobs and stuff. And it was an offer that I couldn't refuse, so I had to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for this thing. So, but other than that, I'm just wiping my face in all this dirt and grime and sweat. And as soon as I get off my computer with this video that I'm making, I'm going to wash my face and I'm going to get in the shower. But I hope I'm not the only one that has to take a break from skincare. If it's too hot and you're sweating things, it just seems to me that it's pointless to waste the money on all this fancy stuff that you're putting on your face, the peptides and the antioxidants and the vitamins and this and that. Aside from the skincare, the one that non-negotiable, which is your SPF. And you know what? I'm using even a 30 if I'm just around the house, even though normally this time of year I start off with an SPF 50. But it's just too damn hot. I should be doing my roots. Who's going to see them? I don't care. It's not that I don't care. I should care because I have an audience here. I care how you guys feel too. But if nobody's going to see me, if I'm not going to go anywhere, if this pandemic is causing people to stay in for our own safety, and even if I wanted to get reckless for myself, I can't afford to get my mother exposed. So I'm not going anywhere. Unless it's a medical appointment, I'm stuck in the house. But I am going to see how long I can get away with not putting all the other skincare on, because it seems pointless to put it on if I'm only going to sweat it. My back is sweating. The rivulets of sweat are tickling me, and my hand is wet from touching my back. I'm melting. I hate this. It is. If anybody thinks that air conditioning is a luxury, shame on you. I don't understand why electric companies, first of all, I don't know exactly how much we're even paying, except I was told that we can't have air conditioning because what it does to the electric bill. But this is absolutely miserable. It's definitely impacting my quality of life. There are days when I'm glad that nobody's home, if nobody is home, because then, frankly, I could take all my clothes off and I could just not feel like, because you imagine being so warm that you would peel your skin off just to get relief. That's why I tie my hair up in that ridiculous bun and I have it on top of my head all the time. And then if I forget and don't take it down before I go to sleep, then it dreads up and then I have to really work at brushing out all the knots and the tangles and stuff. Because the last thing I want to do is break my hair off. Oh boy. Alright. Well, I just want to know that I'm not alone as far as the heat and having to make adjustments to the skincare thing goes. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you like me and my content, I'd love to have you subscribe. You never know what you're going to see when you tag along with me on my adventures. I do try to keep my cats in the videos because I think that's what you guys really want to see. Till then, take care of yourself. Stay safe. Stay cool from the heat. Unless you're in Australia, in which case, don't be too cold. Don't get the COVID. Stay out of the sun. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.